real nice looking interview shot, and we're going to show you exactly how we do it and how easy it is for you to be able to do the same thing. Let's take a look at behind the scenes. It's simply a marble background, fake marble background, and a little bit of a plant. And let's turn the lights off, and we see that we have a nice purple gel over our 150 watt Fresnel, and it's shining through one of those fake ficus trees, so it gives that nice shadowing in there. Now notice around her hair she's got a nice gold light. That's another 150 watt light with a gold gel over it. Here's our interviewer, and you notice even in the background when we cut to him, he's lit really well. We'll talk about that later. Let's go back to Jessie and look at the gold light around her hair. The reason that's balanced really well is because we used a dimmer. Little dimmers you can buy very inexpensively at a hardware store. Now, there's the gold light behind her. Chuck's being lit by a 300 watt Fresnel. Jessie, you can't see, but she's being lit by a light to the far left, a 300 watt facing her. And Chuck's being filled in from the side with a Fresnel. Here's a little 150 watt with the purple on it shining through the tree. And this really is all there is to this lighting setup. You're really going to have a little more lights than normal, but the nice thing is when we cut back and forth, which we did live, it gives a real nice image. Notice the ficus tree to the left with the purple gel shining through, and the plant to her left with a little tiny light shining up underneath her. This is a high view behind the scenes. You see the light shining on Chuck, and notice that shadow it's cast on Jessie. Let's bring up the dimmer light, and that really adds the separation. It's a nice gel over 150 watt light, and the great thing about the dimmers is you control them just to give you the right amount of hair light. As a matter of fact, I really don't like to go out on shoots where I don't have a dimmer to use in the hair light, because otherwise it's very hard to control. And here's our finished product. You have the light from underneath with the plant, the gold gel on the dimmer with the Fresnel, and we have our interviewer. And you'll notice with the interviewer, Chuck, it looks like there's a desk in the background and some nice lights and everything, but it's really such a simple setup. All we did was we had some Christmas tree lights that we bought after Christmas for $1, and we threw them over an office divider, and then we had a green lamp in the background. Here's a couple other examples of an interviewer, of an interview situation using the same background, and we just changed it around a little bit, but it looks about the same. Let's take a look at the setup for the interview with Jessie Ward. We had our subject, Jessie, we'll call it S. We had our interviewer right here, which was Chuck, and they were about 3.5, 4 feet apart. We had to light them separately. Now, just to show you where we had the cameras, we had one camera off to the side, getting a shot of our interviewer, and we had the other camera off to the side, getting a shot of Jessie. So that's sort of a cross pattern. And then we had to light our subject. Well, to light the subject, we had the background about 2.5 feet away. We'll just say 3 feet away. She was separated from the background. How do we light the background? Remember, we had a 150 watt Fresnel, 150 watt Fresnel, we'll draw it like that. And that light had a purple gel on it. Okay, and then that was going through the ficus tree. This is an overhead view that projected on the little marble background. So that gave us the purple in the background, but it was a little speckled kind of background. And then Jessie, as you know, had that gold hair light. So it was 150 watt here on the back of her head, but it was connected to a dimmer. Dimmer. So we had the 150 watt connected to the dimmer. That gave her the gold hair light. Now, she also had a plant in back of her. Remember the plant, which was right about here? How do we light that plant? We had a little tiny quartz halogen shooting up from underneath on the plant. And that's how the plant got lit. And then she was lit from a quartz light, well, not a quartz light, I'm sorry, a 300 watt Fresnel light that was about 8 feet high. And it had some diffusion gel on it, 300. And then that was shooting down this way with diffusion gel, so it gave a nice softer look. And then she had a little bit of a 150 over here, but she could have used just a regular reflector, I think, that we just filled her in on the side. So that allows us to get the gold hair light on this part. The little tiny light got the plant lit up. In the background, we got the shadow from the ficus tree, and the 150 watt with the purple gel lit the background, and this allows her to be really fully lit. Our interviewer, as you remember, I think on this one had some Christmas tree lights in the background, and he was being lit by a light over here, a little 300 watt, being sent this way. So it seems like a really complicated setup, but it's really a 300 watt for each of them, a couple 150s on Jesse, and then a side fill 150, or you could just use a reflector if you didn't have another lamp. And then we had the Christmas tree lights here, and that's the diagram.